Wife or best friend? Pick one, Jake. What do you do when your husband's best friend, who he swears is just like a sister, seems more like his emotional partner than you? They say there's no affair, but I feel like the third wheel in my marriage. Now I've told him to choose. Does that make me the villain? If you've ever questioned boundaries in relationships or felt pushed aside in your marriage, this story will strike a nerve. My name is Olivia, I'm 28, and I've been married to Jake, 30 years old, my husband and partner of 6 years, for the past 3. We met through mutual friends in our mid-20s and hit it off fast. He was sweet, grounded, and emotionally intelligent. We talked about kids, careers, and long-term plans. All the things that make you feel like you're building something real. But from day one, there's been a third person in our relationship. Her name is Mia. She's 29, Jake's best friend from college, and for the entire length of our relationship, she's been there. Not in the background. Not as a passive presence. Front and center. I don't think Jake is cheating on me. I've checked. I've watched. I've followed my instincts, and they tell me this isn't about sex. It's about emotional loyalty. When something big happens in Jake's life, a job change, a bad day, or personal news, he doesn't come to me first. He texts or calls Mia. I found out he was considering switching jobs because he was deep in discussion with Mia about it. I found out he'd been planning something for our anniversary, not from him, but when I heard him talking about it with her. Sometimes, she knows things about my marriage before I do. They have this entire language between them. They shared glances, the inside jokes, the subtle physical closeness. At dinners, she'll lean into him when she laughs. At family events, she knows the perfect thing to say to make Jake feel understood. I've seen it. I've felt it. I stood next to them and felt invisible. At first, I tried to be the cool girlfriend. I was raised on the idea that jealousy is toxic. Women should trust their men, and friendships with the opposite sex are normal. So I ignored the voice in my head when Mia called Jake in the middle of our date night to tell him about a new restaurant she found, and he picked up. When she came over unannounced with takeout because she thought he might be stressed, when she kept referencing their college days together, with stories that always ended in laughter and me feeling like an outsider. The real kicker? Mia has a key to our house. Jake gave it to her years ago for emergencies, but she uses it like a casual invitation. There have been mornings where I've walked into the kitchen in my robe and she's standing there pouring coffee. She'll say something like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd be here." In my own home. I tried talking to Jake. Calmly. Repeatedly. "Jake, I'm not saying Mia's bad, but I feel like I'm constantly competing for your attention." His response? "She's like a sister. You're reading too much into it." When I pointed out how often he confided in her before talking to me, he called me insecure. When I mentioned that I'd like her to text before coming over, he said I was being controlled. Every time I voiced a boundary, I was accused of not trusting him. Or worse, trying to ruin his oldest friendship. 2 weeks ago, Jake and I were set to go on a weekend getaway for our anniversary. We'd been planning it for months, rescheduling work, making arrangements for our dog, all of it. The night before we were supposed to leave, Mia called Jake crying. She had broken up with her boyfriend, the only one I've ever known her to have, and was heartbroken. Jake's response? "I think we should cancel. She needs me right now." When I stared at him in disbelief, he followed up with, "Or maybe she can come with us?" Our anniversary trip. I lost it. He did go on the trip with me, but the whole time he was glued to his phone. Just checking in on Mia. She's not doing well. She needs me. I was physically there. He was emotionally elsewhere. When we got back, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I reached out to Mia and asked if we could talk. Woman to woman. We met at a coffee shop. I was nervous, but tried to keep things calm and respectful. I told her I respect that you and Jake are close. I'm not asking you to end your friendship, but I'm feeling like a third wheel in my marriage. Could we talk about some boundaries, like not calling about every little thing, giving Jake and me more couple time, and just being mindful of how your dynamic comes across? Her response? Cold. Defensive. She said, If you were secure in your marriage, my friendship wouldn't be a threat. I've been Jake's best friend longer than you've ever known him. Maybe if you focused on being a better wife, you wouldn't feel so threatened. I was stunned. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. But she made it clear, she had zero intention of changing. When I told Jake what had happened, he flipped. He said I went behind his back. That I humiliated Mia. That she called him crying and now he felt like he couldn't trust me. Our mutual friends are split. Some think I overstepped. Others think I finally did what Jake should have done years ago. But now, everything is tense. Jake barely looks at me. Mia is still texting him constantly. And I feel like I've become the villain in a story where all I ever wanted was to feel like I mattered. Last night, I blocked Mia on my phone. Then I told Jake plainly, this isn't sustainable. I'm not asking you to end your friendship, but I am asking you to put our marriage first. I need boundaries. And if you can't set them, you have to choose. He stared at me silent. He hasn't chosen yet. And I'm not sure what I'll do if he doesn't. I never thought I'd give my husband an ultimatum. But when every conversation, every milestone, every emotional moment is shared with someone else first, am I even his partner? I wasn't trying to destroy a friendship. I was trying to save a marriage. But now I ask you, was I wrong for blocking her and asking him to choose between his best friend and his wife? What do you think? Was Olivia right to draw a line, or did she go too far? Is Jake just emotionally clueless, or is he subconsciously prioritizing Mia over his marriage? Drop your verdict in the comments. Was this boundary long overdue or a jealous overreaction?